Hey guys, the Fire Brothers here. It's just me, and things have been quiet. And what I mean by that is when it comes to, Transformers related news and stuff. When was the last time we heard Lorenzo said something stupid? The last time we saw a major toy reveal or for a Studio Series toy or whatever? We have had a few Cyberverse toy reveals, but come on, I don't think anyone here likes the Cyberverse toy line that well. We had a few new comics from the new IDW reboot, but I haven't read them yet and I don't think people are too interested on me talking about them. And same thing goes for the new Transformers game. I'm still waiting for that to be released anytime soon. Like, we really haven't heard anything new from that. And overall, content is kinda scarce at the moment. So because of all that, for today I decided to go back and talk about an old continuity. The Align continuity. Now, the Align continuity can be a bit of a mess sometimes, but for the most part, they try their best to keep the continuity. And overall, I will say it's one of the better Transformers continuities out there. In this video, I'm going to be talking about missing, cut, and deleted characters from the Transformers Prime TV show, the Transformers Cybertron games, and a few comics and so on. Now, this is probably going to be a multiple part video because there's so many characters, and for this episode in particularly, I'm just gonna be focusing mostly on the Transformers Prime TV show, because there's a lot of Toyland exclusive characters that didn't make it into the actual show. I'm also gonna be talking about a few games that got deleted and therefore are no longer considered part of the Transformers Align continuity, so they're also gonna get a mention. A lot of these characters, while they were deleted from the show, we actually do know what happened to them after the show. Like, a lot of these characters either die in their own separate stories, or they're still alive to the point of Transformers Robots in Disguise 2015 edition. And I'm gonna be mentioning their fate. I'm gonna be mentioning which ones are still alive, which ones are dead, and which ones are just straight up missing. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy, because this is gonna be a really long video. And also, before we begin, I don't normally do Transformers videos related to stuff that's, non-movie related. And that's because they usually don't get that much support. The Barricade video and the B video that I uploaded right after, it's a perfect example of this. So, if you want me to do more stuff like this, hit me up with a like and comment down below your thoughts on these characters. So with that in mind, let's begin. Okay, first off we got Autobot Fallback, status alive. While he made an appearance in the Transformers Prime toy line, surprisingly enough he comes back for Transformers Robots in Disguise. He's one of the many Autobots blacklisted by the High Council, meaning that by the events of Robots in Disguise, this Autobot is still alive. Next up we have Decepticon Flamewar. She was supposed to appear in the Transformers Universe game, which was cancelled before it could be released, and also made an appearance in the toy line. Her current whereabouts are unknown, but since Transformers Universe was supposed to be a prequel to Transformers Prime, then more likely than not, by the time of Robots in Disguise, Flamewar is most likely dead, but that's just speculation. Next up we have Decepticon Rumble. His current whereabouts are unknown. He made a couple of appearances in the Transformers Prime toy line, but unfortunately there's no sources that point out to his ultimate fate. Autobot Kup was another Autobot soldier that served in the front lines and also made an appearance in the Transformers Prime toy line. We know he's currently alive by the events of Robots in Disguise, since he's blacklisted by the High Council. Decepticon Deaden, current status unknown. He was part of Shockwave's experiments. He was also part of the Transformers Prime toy line, but unfortunately, his current whereabouts are unknown. Autobot Hotshot made an appearance in the Transformers Prime toy line. Unfortunately, he never made it on the show. However, lucky for the guy, he actually made an appearance in the Transformers Rescue Bot Academy cartoon, where he's one of its main characters. So, while he was cut in Transformers Prime, he did come back for Rescue Bot, so good on him. Oh, fun fact, this guy used to be part of the Wreckers. Next up we have the Optimus Maximus Battle Station. This Toyland exclusive armor was specially designed for Optimus Prime. It's so powerful that even Megatron fears it. However, Optimus Prime was very reluctant to use it. Its current whereabouts are unknown. Next up we got the Bumblebee battle suit. Again, another Toyland exclusive creation that was never seen in Transformers Prime or in any of the other Align continuity media. Its current whereabouts are unknown. Next up we have Thundertron, who's a Star Seeker. His current whereabouts are unknown. The only thing that we know him is that Optimus Prime and the Air Protection Task Force tried to unsuccessfully capture him along with Starquest. After that, his whereabouts are a mystery. The Starquest is a star seeker that accompanied Thundertron on several missions. Optimus Prime and the Air Protection Task Force tried to capture him along with Thundertron. This however was unsuccessful and his current whereabouts are also unknown. Next up we got Predacon Rippersnapper. He was one of Shockwave's creations and he broke free of his Cybertron lab at one point. Current whereabouts are also unknown. Predacon Blight. Much like Rippersnapper, he also broke free of Shockwave's lab, and after that he joined up with other Predacons. His current whereabouts are also unknown. Next up we have Autobot Prowl. His current status is alive. He served on several battles on Earth before the events of Transformers Prime, and later rejoined the Autobot leader when the Predacons attacked once again. We do know that he survived to the events of the 2015 Robots in Disguise cartoon, and he was blacklisted by the High Council. Then we have Hun-Gurrr. Oh my god, that name. Hun-Gurrr again was part of the Predacons that broke free of Shockwave's lab. He rejoined the other Predacons and they withdrew back to the Nemesis. The current whereabouts are however unknown. Predacon Twinstrike. Much like his leader, their leader? Does this guy count as two Predacons? Much like their leader, they also rejoined other Predacons and managed to escape Shockwave's lab. Their current whereabouts are also unknown. Windrazor was another Predacon that was one of Shockwave's creations. He also broke free from his lab and his current whereabouts are unknown. Next up we have Decepticon Vertebrate. That name is freaking awesome! His current whereabouts are unknown, and the last thing we know him is that he was released from his chamber by Shockwave and Knockout on Cybertron. Whether he turned hostile on them, that's now made clear. However, like I previously mentioned, he's currently missing in action. Skystalker was once again one of Shockwave's creations. He and the other Predacons fought against the Autobots, but the Autobots were equipped with new Beast Hunter armor, and they managed to beat him and the other Predacons back to the Nemesis. His current whereabouts are also unknown. Ripclaw is a female Predacon and the most loyal out of all the other Predacons. She deeply cares about her fellow Predacons. The last thing we know of her is that she engaged the Autobots in combat and she was forced to retreat. Her current whereabouts are also unknown. Next up we have Decepticon Ravage. He makes an appearance in the Beast Hunter toy line, but other than that he has no story relevancy or anything that we can go on. The last thing that we know about him is that he was seen on Cybertron. After that, his whereabouts are unknown. Next up we have the Skyclaw Ship. This ship was ridden by Smokescreen to get an advantage over air-flying Predacons. It seems to be based on Dreadwing's ship, even having some of Dreadwing's colors, but sadly we don't know much about this thing, and it never made it onto the show. Next up we have Decepticon Bludgeon. He made an appearance in the Transformers Prime toy line, and after that he was not seen since, but he also made an appearance in the Transformers Robots in Disguise toy line, so we know that by the point of RID, he is still active. Here we have Autobot Huffer. He made an appearance in the Robots in Disguise toy line as well as in the Rise of the Dark Spark game for the 3DS. By the time of Robots in Disguise, he is still alive and blacklisted by the High Council. Next up we have Trailbreaker. He was actually inside the Ark during the events of Follow Cybertron and accompanied Optimus Prime and the Autobots through their journeys to space. Eventually he will end up surviving all the way to the events of Robots in Disguise, where he was blacklisted by the High Council. Abominus is the combination of the Predacons Hun-Gurrr, Blight, Rippersnapper, Twinstrike, and Windrazor. Unfortunately there's no bio about this guy, but he does make an appearance in the toy line. Current whereabouts are unknown. Next up we have Grimwing and Blackbeak. These two are actually two Predacons in one. The last thing we know about this guy is that he engaged in a battle against Ultra Magnus and he managed to easily defeat Ultra Magnus. He came to the realization that modern Cybertronians are savages, but at the same time he wasn't a fan of his fellow Predacons, who he also saw as savages. So the last thing we know about him is that he set out to defeat the remaining Decepticons on his own. After that, his current whereabouts are unknown. Next up we have the Autobot Autotroopers. They're basically the Autobots version of Vehicon troopers. The Autotroopers made up the bulk of the Autobot army, and supposedly they're still active to the point of robots in disguise, although this has yet to be confirmed. Next up we have Autobot Chromia. She was left behind on Cybertron after the events of Follow Cybertron. She and the other survivors went underground in search of more energon and even constructed their own makeshift settlements underneath Cybertron to stay alive. She led multiple Autobot refugees and survivors out of the Cybertron underground once the Autobots managed to revitalize the planet. After that, her current whereabouts are unknown. Next up we have Autobot Outsider. He and the other Autobots that were part of the Arc-Light joined Optimus Prime on Earth to fight against the Decepticons. He was well renowned for his ability to be able to weaponize a space bridge, as well as being able to teleport himself and trap Decepticons on makeshift space bridges. His current whereabouts are unknown. Swagger was an Autobot infiltrator that joined Optimus Prime on Earth to fight against the newly arrived Decepticons. His current whereabouts are also unknown. Decepticon Vehicons, status alive. A lot of Vehicons actually survived the war, and a lot of them are still serving the Decepticon army, some of them defected, some of them are serving the Autobots, but overall, the Vehicons are still active at the time of Robots in Disguise, surprisingly enough. Next up we have Autobot Sparkscape, the Autobot Pyromaniac. He served along the Autobots during the early invasion of the Decepticons to Earth. His current whereabouts are unknown. And yeah guys, that's gonna be the end for part 1 because I have a lot of stuff to edit and we're still not halfway there. There's so many other characters that got cancelled that were put in the comics and they didn't make it onto the show or the game. We have a lot of stuff to cover. So if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, the usual. It actually really helps me a lot because I don't know how well or how bad this video is gonna do because people mostly like it when I talk about the movie. So for me to talk about something else that's not movie related, I don't know how you guys are gonna react to it. But if the reaction is pretty positive, then I'll keep going and I'll make a part 2 very soon. So yeah, that's it for this video guys. Hopefully you all enjoy. Like, comment, and subscribe, and remember, Steve did nothing wrong.